Hey there, Golden Valley. John with the Parks and Recreation Department, bringing you another episode of Home Wrecked as we head into the President's Weekend holiday with Monday off. So you've got a couple days. If you're in town, I hope you'll enjoy this activity at home with your family. If you're out of town and needing something to do, maybe you're not sitting on a warm, sunny beach somewhere, and maybe you're in somewhere a little cold like here, you can do something inside. In fact, speaking of cold, what we are going today is build an at-home snow globe that you can make from everyday type of stuff. So here's an example of one I've already put together. You just need a few very, very simple things to do at home. A mason jar at home, nice and easy. Some glitter, nice and easy. Whatever figurine you like. I like snow, and as you've seen before, I like to ski, so I've got a little figurine of skiing. I've also got some filtered water, measuring spoon, a little piece to elevate up out of the jar for the figurine. Now, if you have a big enough figurine, you may not need this. Some super glue, and then the last finishing touch to get the bubbles in there would be some vegetable glycerin. So here we go. We're going to get started. What we're going to do is take the lid off of the mason jar. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter, as I said, depending on your figurine. You may need a little bit of piece here, but I'm going to put a little bit of glue, super glue, so it's really good and secure to hold this in place. Push it down real good. As this is drying out and as I'm pushing it down, it shouldn't take too long if you're using super glue. If you're not sure how to use super glue, make sure you get your parents there to help you. You don't want to get sticky fingers or glue your fingers together. Just fooling. Then I'm going to take the figurine and I'm going to glue this down, making sure I've got some pretty good glue down on the figurine so it stays in there pretty good. All right, so I finished gluing this down. As you can see, this is probably a different figurine than it was just about 10 seconds ago, and that's because I caught a little mistake that reminds me what I need to do. When you're putting this in the mason jar, if you need to have a little piece underneath or the figurine, you need to make sure you leave a little bit of space around the mason jar so that you can screw the cap on. Otherwise, it won't work. So I had to switch out, hence why I have a different colored figurine on here right now. So as you're picking out your figurine or whatever you want to put in your snow globe, make sure you fit, you've got a little extra room, or if you cut a base, that you've got a little extra room around the base of the cap so that you can screw it down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mason jar, I'm going to add a little bit of glitter. And since I want a really snowy winter, even though we haven't had one here in Minnesota, I'm going to dump a ton of white glitter in here. Get that filled up. Just for a little fun, I'm going to add a little bit of sparkly silver. Probably not as much, but enough to make it fun. Again, you can add as much glitter as you want to this, but it's totally up to you. And then just to add a little bit extra, I'm going to add a little bit of blue just for some color in here. You know what? I like glitter, so I'm going to put a little bit of extra silver in there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the filtered or distilled water, or even tap water can work, but the recipes I've seen usually call for distilled or filtered. I'm going to fill the jar up most of the way. I'm not going to fill it up completely because you got to leave room for the glycerin and you got to leave room for the figurine in there. So I fill it up in the mason jar, fill it up just below the level there. Then I'm going to, again, this is going to kind of depend on the amount, the size of the jar that you're using, but this is an 8-ounce jar, pardon me, 16-ounce jar. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of glycerin in here. Get that in. Set that over here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the super glue one more time. I'm going to put a little bit around where the cap screws on, just to make sure the cap does not accidentally come off at any point. So I got a little bit there. Then all I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to take my figurine, I'm going to get it in, screw the cap down nice and tight. Make sure it's really tight. Might get your parents to help you with this if need be. Make sure it's on tight, let the glue dry. You can flip it upside down, Hey, there's a nice snowy winter in Minnesota, and I have some fun there. Other things that you can do with this to make it more your own, you can decorate the lid down here. You can either paint it, wrap some construction paper around it, put stickers on it, whatever you may want. But then you have your very own snow globe, either for yourself, you can give it as a Valentine's Day gift, a late Valentine's Day gift, or just something to keep you sane during these snowy months. So that is our episode of Home Wrecked, making an at-home snow globe as we are in the depths of our snowy winter here, or for us skiers, probably not snowy enough. But thank you again for tuning in for another episode of Home Wrecked. I'm John with the Parks and Rec Department saying thank you very much and look forward to seeing you at our next one during spring break on March 23rd and March 30th. Thanks very much, Golden Valley. We'll see you soon.